Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nati, also known as Nati Style if you're new here. This video I'm really excited to film because it is different from my last two videos. I haven't done a video on Duke yet. Today's video is going to be a what I wish I knew before attending Duke University, but it has a twist because though these videos exist already, none of them have talked about COVID, I think. Well, anyways, I hope to be one of the first to be talking about the realities of COVID in college, specifically Duke University. Being that Duke is so into medical research, they have taken serious precaution to COVID, as they should, and I just want to tell you guys a little bit about the reality of living through that during my freshman year. I'm also going to talk about just day-to-day Duke stuff that doesn't have to do with COVID. Let's just get right into it. I did not write a script, talking points, nothing. I'm just going to talk off the top of my head and see what comes out. I already know the first thing I want to talk about. The first thing I want to mention is the overwhelming city culture. Now, what I mean by city culture is that there are certain cities, cough cough, LA, New York, that kind of dominate a big part of the school. Now what I mean by this is that there are a lot of kids from the same city, so you may find yourself being in on conversations where you just might not understand what they're talking about. I'm from Florida, for example, but I find myself at times very confused by these very specialized conversations. In other words, there's a lot of New York kids, there's a lot of LA kids, and they all know each other. Does not mean it's gonna affect you. Did not affect me. I just kind of noticed it and was like, oh, that's interesting. So if you're from a smaller town, you'll be fine. There's a lot of other people. Second thing I wish I knew before attending Duke University, and I guess this kind of has to do with COVID, but a single dorm is a blessing. If you have been kind of on edge because you're like, will I make friends? I don't know. No, single dorms are great. Due to COVID, every single freshman had a single dorm, and I think people were pretty bummed about it. I remember I was, but as the year went on, you have no idea how much you're gonna appreciate that privacy. And as much as you may think like, oh, it's gonna confine me to like a lot of solitude, I'm not gonna go out and want to meet people, that's not true. I mean, it could be depending on your personality type, but at least in our situation, when every person was in a single, our dorms did not confine us to anything. It's so nice to have your own space when you need to study, and I mean, we barely could go to libraries because we had to make reservations. It was really nice to have your own room to just use. With that being said, I do have a roommate next year and I'm ecstatic to live with her, but I just think that single dorms kind of get a really bad rap for no reason. And yeah, I just kind of want to debunk that. Another thing I wish I knew before attending Duke University is how much I would come to love East Campus. So if you're a rising freshman, you've definitely heard of East Campus. It is a separate campus from Duke's main campus where only freshmen live. East Campus gets a lot of heat for reasons I do not understand, but I thought it was so nice to live in a space where you knew everyone was a freshman. It was like its own little community. I feel like people don't talk about leaving East Campus enough. It's hard on me, especially because my dorm was the dorm next to the music department. Now I'm gonna have to ride the bus to go to my music classes instead of just leaving my dorm 5 minutes before class to go to my classes. Yeah, no East Campus slander allowed. It is close to Whole Foods, close to 9th Street, which is like where you can get groceries, hair, shipping, just like the street where real life is. Another thing I wish I knew before attending Duke University, this one's definitely COVID related. I cannot speak for this coming year because lots of things have changed, vaccinations have come out, and other factors along those lines, but Duke takes their COVID quarantine very serious. Now, it is great that they take their quarantine very seriously, but it really took a toll on my mental health. So the first time around, Duke has this application called SymMon, which is where you symptom monitor yourself every single morning. If you don't complete symptom monitoring by 2 p.m., you get your Duke card deactivated. So you cannot go into your dorm, you can't pay for meals, etc., etc. One fine morning, I would say it was 2 weeks into my freshman year, I woke up with a sore throat. And I kind of had a feeling it was because of my AC, because my AC was looking a little crusty. It had like some moldy looking things. I don't know if it was mold to this day, but... And so I marked that I had a sore throat. This was before people knew that the second you marked a symptom on SymMon, you are sent away. So my Friday night turned into me being shuttled off campus with a bag packed for potential 2 weeks if I had COVID, and I was kept in the whole weekend, a beautiful college weekend in a hotel room, because I had a sore throat, which in fact was not COVID. It was literally because I had mold in my AC. Regardless, I understood that it was protocol and I went through with it, yada yada yada. A week later, I was exposed to someone with COVID. I literally saw them for 30 minutes, but again, protocol, I got put back in. But the difference with when you self-report versus being actually near someone with coronavirus is that the coronavirus quarantine is 10 days. So I was in a hotel for 10 days with no contact with anyone. But from then on, I was very cautious about the individuals I surrounded myself with. I had my corona radar out and about because I was not gonna get contact traced again, and I didn't. Case closed. Another thing I wish I knew before attending Duke University. This one is a little more applicable to all colleges. This really isn't particular to Duke. I wish I knew how important it was to diversify the classes you take. So for example, I'm terrible at math and science. Anything STEM related, not my thing. So I thought, to compensate for the lack in that department, I decided to take 4 very writing intensive courses. Oh boy. I was literally writing a paper every other night. Diversify your classes. Another thing I wish I knew was how drastically differing the dorm situation is. I'm not here to berate Duke dorms, not at all. My dorm freshman year was godsend. Besides the bugs and the spiders, it was beautiful. We had newly renovated bathrooms, but not every dorm is like that. If you're an incoming freshman, you've probably heard of this dorm, Trinity. Trinity is the most newly done dorm on East Campus. It is spectacular. You get a full bed. You have a movie theater, like 5 TVs in your common room. It's ridiculous. There's no other dorm like Trinity. But I will say, Trinity is the furthest dorm from the bus stop, and you may think like, oh, worth the walk. For me, no, not worth the walk. When it's August, when it's September, when it's April, when it's May, it gets really hot in North Carolina. You are not gonna wanna have to do that extended 20-minute walk. I personally think having one of the dorms on Main Quad, which are closest to the bus, is worth it if it takes not having a full bed and whatever all the Trinity kids have. But speaking on this point to upperclassmen dorms and not freshman year dorms, it remains the same. There are dorms like the Hollows and Swift that are so nice, like so nice. My sophomore year dorm is not so nice. And it is a little painful to know that I'm paying the same amount as those kids living in those nicer dorms, but I mean, what can you do? The world is unfair. I'm actually so proud of myself for thinking of this one because this is a very niche thing I wish I knew before going to Duke, so here it is. Your meal plan is really never explained to you, at least I never felt like my meal plan was explained to me. If you're an incoming freshman, you eat your breakfast and your dinner, supposedly, at Marketplace. Marketplace is the only dining hall on East Campus, and it is like buffet style, and that's what your meal plan provides for you. Then you are allotted a certain amount of meal points or dollars that are meant to be used for lunch. The reason your lunch is not included at Marketplace, disclaimer, you can eat lunch at Marketplace, they will just charge your dollars, is because supposedly your schedule is supposed to allow for you to go over to West Campus, eat at the dining hall, which is Woo, that only takes food points, and then return back to East Campus. I don't know who thought that was like how a normal day works, but it doesn't work like that. If you find yourself one day on East Campus and you're like, I cannot go to West to get food, go to Marketplace, that's not a big deal. Or there's also something called Go Bring It, which is a student-run company that's literally Uber Eats slash Postmates slash DoorDash, whatever, that picks up food from local Durham restaurants and charges it to your food points. It's expensive though, so unless you have a surplus of food points, I probably wouldn't recommend it. Lastly, I wish I had known how many amazing, smart people I was gonna meet. That's the most cliche way I could end this video, but it's true. 98% of the people you meet at Duke are brilliant. My own roommate is an environmental engineer, and I barely passed biology and chemistry in high school. That's a joke, but literally, like, there's so many different types of genius at Duke. Yes, there's a ton of econ majors that all want to go into investment banking. Yes, there's a ton of kids in Pratt, which is the engineering school, that are probably gonna be so successful in life, but there is everyone though. You will meet someone that doesn't make you feel imposter syndrome. I'm not even gonna get into imposter syndrome because that is a whole other story in itself. I myself do not suffer from it, but I understand it. Ultimately, Duke is great. I wish I had known how much I was gonna love it. Despite a pandemic, having online classes, going into lockdown here and then, I still loved every second of it. There were definitely highs and lows. Definitely, there were lows. But I still really have so much love for this school, and I'm so excited to go back in the fall. Please leave any questions down below. I respond to every single comment. And follow my socials, guys. If you really want that Duke content, why haven't you followed my TikTok yet? My TikTok is the most Duke heavy channel I have. So follow my TikTok at nati.style, follow my Instagram. I really hope this video helped. I remember literally searching through every single YouTube video on the internet before starting my freshman year. So I'm just like honored to become a part of them. No, but seriously, like I really hope this helps. Okay, see you in my next video. Bye.